Tonight, we dig deeper on the issue of security in Nigeria under President Muhammadu Buhari as we dissect more on the way forward for Nigeria. And leaders in the southern region of the country are considering taking care of security and fixing the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. We're looking at the centralizing power, the Amotekun initiative, and what this means for Nigeria. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye in Lagos. Tonight we'll be dissecting the issues of security in Nigeria under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. How far have we come? What do we need to do in ensuring that no Nigerian is no longer killed in any part of the country? So we dissect that for you. Let's bring you up to speed with what is happening in Jos Plateau State. Where protesters at the DSS office there, that you can see some friends and the supporters of the former deputy governor of the CBN, Dr. Obadiah Melafia, there protesting his arrest by the DSS. That was the scene when the supporters and friends of the former deputy governor took to the streets and protesting the arrest of the former presidential candidate at the 2019 election and former deputy governor of the CBN. The former deputy governor has been speaking about the invitation by the Department of State Service, DSS, over the statement he made on the state of security in the country. Take a listen to him.
I know that I should have taken more care to corroborate some of the information that I received. But perhaps some of it was it was not such that you could corroborate. Uncorroboratable, if I could use that phrase. I was in no position to follow them to their camps and to corroborate what was going on. But I am not a sensationalist. I'm an economist and a central banker. By nature, we are very sober people. We are not given to sensationalism. Let me make it clear. I'm a humanist. I'm a man of peace. Even my name, Melafia, means a man of peace. I love our country dearly, and I abhor from the bottom of my heart all the killings and violence to which innocent people in this country have been subjected to. I pray that Nigeria will never experience another civil war. One of the greatest compatriots of this country, General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, retired, observed that no country can survive two civil wars. One civil war is bad enough. I also pray that the killings will stop in Zamfara, in Daura, in Katsina, in Beningwari, in my beloved southern Kaduna, in the whole of the Middle Belt, in Borno, Adamawa, and other places. The duty of government, the most elementary duty of government, is to protect its citizens. And when a government fails to protect its citizens, protect little children, that is a serious matter. Let me also say that any innocent girl or boy that is killed is my own child.
That is Dr. Obadiah Melafia, former presidential candidate at the 2019 election, who is said to have been arrested or invited by the DSS over the comments he made on national security. We understand that he's working on perfecting his bail condition from the DSS custody. Well, before we get talking with my partner tonight on the program, let's get to see some of the political stories we have for you on our political roundup.
The Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of 8.49 billion naira for the procurement of 12 items in various quantities for the testing of coronavirus by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. The memo was presented by the Minister of Health, Osagie Ehanire, on behalf of the center at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The 11th FEC virtual meeting was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari and was held at the council chambers in the State House, Abuja. The Interparty Advisory Council of Nigeria has set up an electoral committee for the conduct of the 2020 National Executive Council elections. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the national chairman of the council, Peter Ame, told journalists in Abuja that following the decision of the Court of Appeal on the deregistration of political parties, the interim committee of the council stands dissolved.
We have set up a committee to conduct election for the 5th of September handover date.
The New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, not to compromise the electoral process in Edo and Ondo State by their utterances. NNPP described the statement by INEC that it would discontinue the election process unless all parties are able to guarantee peace as a statement which shows that the election umpire is not ready for the polls. The state chairman of the party, Oluwatosin Odeyemi, told journalists in Osogbo, the Osun state capital, that it is the responsibility of INEC to ensure that all parties play in line with the rule of the elections by collaborating with security agencies and ensure peace and security before, during and after the polls.
INEC should have simply begged the federal government to ensure peace before, during and after the election.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get to it tonight. Perhaps you get one of the most robust conversation on the issue of security in Nigeria tonight with my panel. And so perhaps one of the most important issues in Nigeria today is that of security in most of the northern region. There is a huge worry about the activities of insurgents and bandits. So in the southern region, leaders and governors are already making efforts at securing their own territories. The Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, yesterday inaugurated the pioneer officers of Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps. Governor Akeredolu is soliciting for more funding from the federal government to equip the police. Governor Akeredolu said that the Amotekun Corps is designed to support the existing security framework in the country. The governor stressed that with a workable synergy among the leadership of the security agencies and that of Amotekun, a watertight strategy capable of arresting crimes even before they occur will be deployed. Governor Akeredolu is the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. The governors have decided weeks and months ago on how they can better protect their citizens in the region. Governor Akeredolu joins me now from Akure, the capital of Ondo State. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Governor of Ondo State. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let me begin by asking you, interestingly, I must say you look fabulous. Maybe at some point you were considering joining the army before you became a senior advocate of Nigeria. You look quite good on in that uniform. That's on a lighter note. Let me begin this conversation. Since I'm talking to a senior advocate of Nigeria, security is a major problem of Nigeria as we speak. With this initiative of Amotekun, first and foremost, would they be carrying arms? Because I saw some of the officers there with some guns.
So you are not so clear. If I get clearly, you say Is the question whether our security are going to be carrying guns? Is that what you said? Are you with me?
Yes, absolutely, Governor. Please go ahead.
Is the question? I say, is your question whether you are going to be carrying guns?
Yes, yes. Would they be carrying guns? Because I saw some of them with guns.
Well, today, men who are carrying non-prohibited guns. You know, there are guns that are prohibited. There are some that you get license for. So they are carrying non-prohibited guns.
We're having some troubles here getting the connection, but we will fix that, and our engineers will let us know when we are good with Governor Akeredolu on the issue of the Southwest Initiative. He will be speaking on behalf of the governors of the Southwest region and the launch of the Amotekun in Ondo State. So let's go to Abuja studio, where the former Inspector General of Police, Mr. Suleiman Abba, joins us on the program. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Abba. It's good to see you after a long time. And perhaps seeing you out of the uniform. Let's get the conversation started. On the issue of where do we go from here, it does look like in most parts of the country, we've seen the dominance of military, where police activities are supposed to be majorly seen. Has the police lost their grip on internal security in the country?
Well, thank you very much for having me on this very important program, and I'm glad to be here in civilian, that's to say as a retired senior police officer. If you've had me in uniform, then I'm glad and I thank God that I'm in good health and I can still contribute on issues of national security. To your question, which is not quite a question, but I think you are making a statement. It's like you are saying that the police is overwhelmed. That is why they are not on the streets, or they are not seen to be doing anti-crime activities, which is the essence of internal security. I think it is perhaps the actors that you say there. That is to say, the military, they have said it themselves that they are overwhelmed. They have too much in their hands and they need assistance. I remember this is a development that I highlighted sometime in 2009 when I represented the then Inspector General of Police at a forum, a military forum actually, in Nigerian Bar Association meeting. And I was a discussant with General Agwai and Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, who were discussing, the military in internal security. And I advised, I said, perhaps the way it is going, the way the military is getting involved in too much internal security activities in almost every state of the nation, it's just a matter of time they will become overwhelmed. And I think I've been proved right in recent years when the leadership of the military itself has been talking about being overwhelmed, or to put it in a better word, that they have too much in their own hands. I think it wasn't a situation where the police abandoned its responsibilities and then the military had to come. Rather, it was a situation where there were very serious incidents, especially the issues of terrorism, which was not only confined to Borno State or parts of the Northeast. There were also incidents of terrorism reaching up to Abuja. And you could recall there was a time when in Abuja, hardly do people go to market, even mosque and churches. And if they have to, then it means it's like half of them will be praying and about half will be, watching out to make sure that they are secured. And even with that, incidents were occurring. And it was mainly that reason that brought in the military in most parts of, let's say, the northern states. And in the South, for example, where I was Commissioner of Police in Rivers, it was similarly the incidents of insurgents who at a time, I remember in Rivers State, there was a situation where prior to my arrival as Commissioner of Police Rivers, there was an incident where insurgents came close to entering the government house and attacked it, if I may put it directly. But then there you are, there were also incidents in, let's say, in the central part, northern part of Nigeria, particularly in Plateau State, where as a Josite, I can speak a lot on the issues of insecurity in the Plateau. I was a student of University of Jos, where I graduated in 1983. And I can recall during the years of my study in University of Jos, we had friends among the Birom, for example, where we used to go to their homes and take guate and all that. But by 2009, when I was a student in National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, there I found myself in Birom territory, but I dare not go into the homes of the same friends I used to have. And what was responsible for it? Of course, maybe when you ask the question, I will come to it. But there were good reasons for the military to come in, but then it wasn't because the police had abandoned its responsibilities. Rather, it was because the military have found that internal security is a very, very important area where they can show their expertise, where they can contribute in strengthening security of lives and properties. So where,
Mr. Alba,
it was necessary for the military to be there, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But we also know that there were, up to now, there are areas where the military should really vacate and allow the police to continue their normal day-to-day anti-crime activities, right, so that
Mr.
they concentrate on those areas
we have,
where you have, whether it is necessary for them to be there.
Mr. Alba, we have about 60 seconds before our first break on the program. But a lot of people have said one of the major problems of policing in Nigeria is the lack of the balance of the ratio of the police officer to citizenry, just like we have in other climes. We have less than about 400,000 police officers or policemen in Nigeria. What would you say is perhaps the ideal number of policemen that we should be having in Nigeria?
We should be having something like 1 million, but I think with 500,000, the police will really go a long way in proving itself.
Okay, so it brings me
and it's very easy to get the 500,000. It's very easy to get the 500,000. What you need to do is this: the unnecessary proliferation of agencies, repeating the same job, duplicating the same job of the police. And I can be very direct. What is the National Civil Defense doing, having, the same police stations in every local government where the police have a police station? That's a duplication and a confusion. So resources being duplicated, resources being wasted, and go around. Once it is 4 o'clock, you don't see any civil defense guy on the street fighting crime. So it's a complete waste. What you need to do is bring them under the police. That will reach the police manpower with about 100,000 at a go. And of course, others that are duplicating police job, whether it is on traffic or whatever, whether it is in the fight against drugs and so on, bring them in, strengthen the manpower of the police, and you will see the effect immediately. That's why I said 500,000 for now or immediately can bring the change.
All right, so Mr. Alba, let's take a break. But when we come back, the president raised a lot of concern yesterday because you spent several years as a police officer at the helm of affairs in Nigeria Police. So you know some of the problems, and we'll be talking about solutions so that people in Southern Kaduna, people in Katsina, people in Zamfara will not be killed. But some of the reports that we are hearing about the insurgents coming down south, how true are these reports? We clarify some of these issues after the break, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. What will make you do your business in peace? What will make you sleep with your two eyes closed at night? That is adequate security, which government professes to want to provide to citizenry. So tonight, we are dissecting what the president said yesterday, the strategy of security under President Muhammadu Buhari. And tonight, we have a very strong panel to discuss these issues. I have a former Inspector General of Police, Mr. Suleiman Abba, from our Abuja studio. Earlier, I was speaking with the governor of Ondo State, the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, and also have from Ikoyi in Lagos, a retired military officer, and a chieftain of the PDP, Chief Olabode George. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me go to Akure for a moment and speak with the governor there. Apologies for the glitch there, but let's get to it, Governor Akeredolu. With what we've seen, it does look like the prerogative of policing or security is that of the federal government. And a lot of people are now saying that this looked like a quick fix, the Amotekun initiative, the regional initiative by governors or from the different regions. But what would be a permanent solution, legally speaking and politically speaking, to kill this issue of insecurity in Nigeria?
Well, thank you. I mean, Sheung, when you talk about finding a permanent solution, it is not something we can get at by flight. There are a lot of problems we have with our security what I would call architecture in this country. And it is important for us all to understand the way everybody's mind is working. And there's no way we cannot run away from it. What we have said and what we know is that the police is overstretched. The former Inspector General of Police, Abba, in his argument, yes, we can get to 500 at a go, we can get beyond 500 at a go. All those it's not an easy thing to do. But even if you get to 1 million, for as long as we have this structure, it is not going to be an abiding one. If you are talking about security of our people, you are talking about security of lives and properties, and all of us are thinking about what can be effective. There must be a change of our security architecture. To have a single command would not be in the interest of this country. It's not in the interest of the country. Policing, anywhere in the world, go to US, go to Britain, these things are decentralized in a way or manner. But you see, since we still have one just police, Nigeria police now, we must work towards it. That look, there must be different levels of policing. Now the police is talking about community policing. That's another level in which they are going to involve as many locals as possible in policing their locality. But do you want to still put them under a single command? To me, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You cannot be in Abuja and be there directing all affairs all over the state. You cannot be in Abuja and say that police area commander or the NC police or so cannot be changed by the commissioner of police. They can only be posted from Abuja. How?
Apology if I may cut in. So you're talking practically speaking because you are a governor, you are the chief security officer of your state, and you are also the leader in the Southwest region, at least as far as the governors are concerned. So in the real sense of it, thank God also, you are a senior advocate of Nigeria. So for those who think that some of these approaches are knee-jerk approach, what approach will give a lasting solution to it? Perhaps a legal one, is it?
Well, that is it. It has to be legal. What we have now in place, you spoke about Amotekun. Amotekun too is legal. It has its own legal framework. There's a legal framework for it, and that's why it has taken us time before we took up. So But when you talk about generally, all over the country, there must be a change. There must be the National Assembly must come to terms with what type of police we need. Do we need to have them at different levels? That you probably talk about policing at federal, at state, at local. But you can start our state for the first instance. So some of us are strong believers in what we call state police. The time has come. If we cannot continue in the manner in which we are doing and expect that we have effective policing of lives and properties. So some of us are concerned. You have said I'm a chief security officer. Oh, very, very glorious title. But chief security officer, that I'm subjected to whatever the Inspector General of Police will direct. So what chief security officer without any, am I that effective? So the command is not under me. I'm not saying it must be necessarily be under me, but the point is that because the way Nigerian police is set, let us be fair to ourselves, let's be fair to Mr. President, be fair to every Nigerian. The police itself is not even under the president.
But Governor Akeredolu, how do we, sorry, apologies, how do we then go about this legal reframing of our constitution? Because you're driving at a constitutional amendment or a major change in our constitution. How do we approach it? What is the best way?
No, that's why I said the National Assembly has to be up and doing. We want, you see, the elites of this country, there must be an agreement among us. Both elite down south, elite in the north, elite in the east, everywhere, wherever it is. Let us have an agreement among the elites of this country. And if we all agreed, and we said, okay, the right time is now, then our representatives at the National Assembly can now commence necessary amendment to the provision of the Constitution as to the form and of policing we need to have to be more effective. It is the National Assembly's duty. So the Constitution has to be amended. But again, the Constitution, no doubt, gives responsibility to the state government itself to protect lives and properties. So that's where we have to now maneuver to have something like Amotekun. And for us, it's all in the interest of protecting the lives and properties of our people. But if we are serious and all of us go ahead and do something at National Assembly and have an amendment, decentralize the police. Let us have policing at different levels. So at least start from state level and federal level, you will see that it will be more effective. This is our position.
All right. So, Governor, give us a sense of what you may, and we reported we're hearing about a possibility or the influx of the introduction of some insurgents into the southern region of the country. Have you heard any of this? And if you have, what have you been doing, you and your colleagues in the southern region of the country?
Well, what we know is that insurgency is already here. ISWAP is already in Nigeria. All of us know. And these people have a tendency of issue of territory. They want to have hold on a particular territory until they are strong in any territory. You find out that they cannot, that will be their launching pad. But I know that what we have is that some of us believe strongly that most of these herders or those who involve in kidnapping are not necessarily herders. They are not necessarily those who are Fulani herdsmen. A number of them, I'm not particular about who is doing it, because I don't want, crime is crime, and anybody can be involved in crime, and it can be Igbo, it can be Yoruba, anybody can kidnap. But what I'm saying is that a number of people we have found in recent time don't even speak any of Nigerian languages. So we have fear that, look, they are gradually migrating down, but all we know is that we are determined to protect our own respective territories, and that is why we have come up with the issue of Amotekun. Amotekun will be right inside the forest, so nobody will have opportunity of even moving, because we know we have been engaging some of our hunters in it. Some of them are part of Amotekun, so we have men Amotekun right in the bush, so that we are going to be more effective rather than policemen staying on the road alone. There is no way amount of roadblock that kidnappers don't come in vehicles. You cannot roadblock cannot stop them. So those who kidnap and run into the bush. So we need people who can go after them in the bush. So these are the things we are trying to put on the shoulders of Amotekun, and they have said to us that they are prepared to work. And
will they be carrying arms? Because I saw some of them with guns.
You said so the other time. I said that what they had on were not prohibited guns. That's what we are using. And we are going to approve government if we have licenses to carry some of the AK-47 or some of the arms. If they give us, we take it. But if not, the non-prohibited arms we will use. And it's not that it's enough, but we are sure that we'll be more effective. We'll be more effective policing our borders and guaranteeing the security of lives and properties of our people as we move ahead.
So, perhaps let's wrap up this conversation, Mr. Governor. It does look like you are the first to launch this in the southwestern region of the country. Is it that some of your colleagues are...
No, what we have is that most of us have appointed our commandant generals. Most of us have. But the point is that we are gone ahead to train. And the training has been concluded. It's better for you to just say that we are the first to, what I will put it, to have a passing out parade. So the people we have trained are now passing out. We are the first to do it. That's the only thing, that's the difference. But I know that most of the states, from information, from our interaction, have already appointed their own commandant generals, Osun, Ekiti. Even the commandant general for Ekiti was with us. The representative of commandant general for Osun was there. So everybody has done that. But people are at the point of training their cadets and co.
All right. Thank you so much. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Governor of Ondo, said thank you so much indeed for your time there. Let's go back to our Abuja studio with the former Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba. You heard some of the things that the Governor Akeredolu said there. And if you look at some of the issues raised by President Buhari, he said he was wondering where some of these small weapons are coming from. He also mentioned the issues of intelligence in the Nigerian military and how they need to work with communities there. These light weapons and small weapons, what is the best way, because we're looking at a solution now, what is the best ways to mop up these?
Well, thank you very much. I wished you had asked me to respond to some of the things His Excellency, the Ondo State Governor, raised. And actually, you came close to it. You asked whether I had him. Of course, I had him. But since you are not talking about it, and he's my senior as a lawyer, he's a senior advocate. I respect that greatly. He's my senior.
But please, if you may want to respond to him. No, you may want to respond to some of the things.
Okay, fine.
Since you're a lawyer too.
If you want it that way, let me start from there before I come to the issues of proliferation of arms. I'm glad His Excellency himself admitted it's like the want of power that is driving some of the governors, control of the police is what is driving some of them into the issue of state police. Let me start by saying that in 2009 in NIPS, I wrote a beautiful project. I conducted a research on discipline in the Nigeria police and assessment. At the end of it, I even became an examiner, external examiner. In it, I recommended very clearly that it's not state police that is the problem. What we need to have are local government police. Is the lack of strong policing at the local governments that is causing the insecurity in this country. Recall when traditional rulers and the local government officials were working hand in hand with the police they had full control of security situations in their local governments. And once it is done in every local government, that will mean nationally we have improved, if not firm control of security in the country. There will be improved security. And this is why, in relation to what you said about the recent comments by His Excellency over security, let me tell you that as chairman of the Police Trust Fund, the Board of Trustee of the Police Trust Fund, I have had beautiful interactions where we have gone very far. The board has gone very far in approving the budget where we will assist the police, that's to say support the police, by buying rugged motorcycles that are fast enough, almost 90 kilometers per hour, that will be able to compete and beat the motorcycles of the bandits, in the local governments or in the communities. And that will certainly help the police in checking the activities, the violent activities of bandits in parts of Katsina, parts of Sokoto, parts of Zamfara, Kaduna, and Niger State. And I also want to state that one of the problems was the withdrawal, if you like, or the suspension of the operation of Federal Highway Patrol. This has also been discussed by the Board of Trustees of the Police Trust Fund, and it has approved that we have talked to the Inspector General of Police, and he has accepted to introduce the Federal Highway Patrol. Nowhere in the country, not even in America, do they abandon their highways. You don't abandon the highways because whether we like it or not, I heard you saying, or I heard His Excellency saying that kidnappers don't use the highways. There is no way they can operate without coming on the highways. No way at all. I was Commissioner of Police in Rivers for 2 years, almost 3 months. And most times it's on the highways we intercept them. Of course, their hiding places are in the bush, or sometimes even in the cities, in the neighborhoods, where you least expect it to be. But whether you like it or not, when they commit, they use the highways to return home where they came from to do their operations, or to run away from arrests.
Mr. Alba,
and once you abandon them, yeah.
Mr. Alba, just a moment. Let me bring Chief Olabode George into the conversation now. He's a former military officer, a politician who also has headed a state before. So, let's tap some knowledge from him tonight. Thank you so much, Chief Bode George, for coming tonight. This is very instructive, Chief George. The president said that these terrorists are in the localities. How is it that they are not short of small arms? The president queried the security and intelligence chiefs. According to the president, he said, we have said enough on the need for them to rejig their operations. So as a former military officer, what is there to rejig, and how will they go about the rejigging?
First of all, let me try and situate the problem. There is so much hunger in the land. There is so much anger. If the boys, the younger generation, cannot have means of livelihood, they resort this kind of kidnapping, armed robbery, and all that. And for God's sake, policing is local. The structure, like I agree with the governor of Ondo, the structure is defective. The structure is defective. What is the he mentioned the total number of policemen in this country, 400,000, to manage the whole nation called Nigeria. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. So, policing is local. Two, there is so much hunger and anger in the land. So, if a guy is trying to dig and resolve these problems, they must, as a matter of urgency, make sure that policing is made, approval will be given to states to have their own police sitting in Abuja and controlling the whole police for this country cannot work. Let's take an example. You know we are running a presidential system. Look at America. Every county has a police. Every state has a police. And of course, the FBI is still there. And the FBI is the overall. Everybody knows when to cut off. So my best suggestion, we want to really attack this problem. I've spoken about the poor economic situation, the anger, the hunger in the land, a state of hopelessness and helplessness. Let's say it the way it is. We should go for restructuring. Restructuring is not saying disband Nigeria. Look, we are still running it the way we ran it in 1960. It's not working. There must be improvement. We must, as a matter of urgency, I like what the governors in Southwest have done. Trying now to have the Amoteku concept so that they can protect the lives and property of the people. How many policemen do we have? 400,000. Think, Sokoto to Calabar, Maiduguri to Lagos, Jigawa to Delta. How can we? The population of this country today is exploding. And the people are milling around, they are doing things. The most effective way to provide security for you to be able to sleep at night is that you use the people within your own locality to manage them. When I was a young man in Lagos, we used to have this, what do they call them? Oloparole, we used to call them. That is the native police. They were the ones who went around everywhere to make sure they knew, they spoke your language, they knew who lived in what house, they knew if a stranger comes there, they will find out from him, what are you looking for here? Right now, you can, it's only from the Central, from Abuja, you post the police from one location to the other. It's not working. And Oga should just go back to his drawing board, reassess it, and let's do a restructuring. So restructuring doesn't mean disband Nigeria, no. You now make sure that we do it the way the civilized world is working. And it has worked for them. America, like I said, they have the county police, like a local government police, they have state police, and they have the national police, which is the FBI. Even in England, in London, you have the Metropolitan Police. By the time you go to the Midlands, they have another Metropolitan whatever. In Scotland, they have them. So that they are effective, they know what is it. And another interesting thing, it's going to cost us a lot of money. Look at the cameras for security purposes. How effectively have you equipped our own policemen? I listened to the former IG talking about highway patrol. What has happened to the road marshal, the road, what do they call them? What happened to them? Those road marshals that we had, they are still patrolling. When you go on tour, you see them around. Are they effective? How many policemen can be in my local government? Looking at it and thinking, we can buy more machines, we can effectively give these policemen support in the locals. They must be able to speak the language of that area. They must know the culture of the area. they will be able to know who lives in what area and who doesn't. So if in the night somebody comes in there, they will ask him, who are you looking for? At my time, the word almost now call some name. They were effective. They protect the area, and then the area fathers too protected the area. But today, you don't know who is who. How many policemen? Even if you call them, how many of them will be
Chief
working,
George,
going,
just a moment.
they are on duty in the night.
Chief George, just a moment. Let me go back to the former IGP in Abuja studio. You are looking at the political intervention and how we need to go. But let's look more again now into the issue of the techniques and the technicalities of how to tackle the issue. Some people will say the quality of policing and the depth of policing. For example, there's close to 1 million CCTVs in the United Kingdom. So in terms of technology, is that the way to go? And how do we go about it? Mr. Abba.
Yes, thank you very much. I think you've raised a very important issue. I think the world over, policing is gone digital. Yes, you go to countries that we were ahead of them, such as Dubai and so on. You rarely see too many policemen on the street. But you see a lot of cameras. And from the control rooms, they watch you. In fact, we even have cameras now that have known your character, have known your movements, can even, once to come out of your home, it can easily determine where you are going, the grocery shop you are going to, what you buy, and so on and so forth. But coming back to it, cameras are very, very effective in policing. Still going back to 2009, we went to Moscow, Russia, on a study tour. And I took our time to ask the government delegation that attended to us. I said, I used to know the Russian police to be very corrupt, listed as one of the most corrupt in the world. How did they stop that? They pointed at the cameras. Cameras are very important in preventing crime because, like in the case of the policeman there, then, if you give him, he won't take because he knows the camera is watching him. It's the same with other criminals, including violent criminals. They know that the cameras are watching them, so they will be deterred. Another important use of the cameras is that they are very, very useful in detecting crime. A criminal commits the offense, we see it, even if it is in a supermarket, he succeeds in harassing everybody, perhaps sometimes even wounding or maiming people, and takes whatever he wants, whether it is gold or whatever. He escapes, but at the end of the day, the camera would have recorded him, and it will be easy to even detect where he lives and easily get to him.
Mr. Abba,
the beauty
if I may, sorry, apologies to
would have worked in Nigeria. I'm becoming local here. No, but I think you need to allow me the same way you allow their excellency.
All right, so go ahead,
I'm not his excellency yet, but I think I know better than them when we are talking about security and policing. So allow me to talk.
No, otherwise, please go ahead. I wanted to ask a follow-up question.
If I localize the issue of cameras in Nigeria, our problem insecurity is mainly caused by politicians. The same politicians will not allow these cameras, the contractors who are to install these cameras, to get them installed properly. We saw what happened in Abuja. As IGP, I cried out. A contract of about $400 million where a state-of-the-art cameras were installed or were supposed to be installed, since they were not completely installed. And the control room, where if any camera gets the eyes of a wanted person, it will raise alarm at the control room and that person can be arrested. It was never allowed to get through. What happened? No, we don't know. At the end of the day, the job was not completed. The Ministry for Police Affairs was the one handling it. It was never completed. It was never handed over. The police was denied the use of it. When I was Commissioner of Police in Rivers, I saw it working. The state government, under Rotimi Amechi, they were able to install quite a number of cameras, and of course some cameras too from the federal government. But then you could see if there was seriousness, it will work. A situation where in Lagos, where I was also Commissioner of Police, where I was deployed in 2011 to Lagos as Commissioner for Election Duties, I was there for 6 weeks. I saw it working. You know, Fashola was the Commissioner of Police. He established the Security Trust Fund, and they established a control room. The cameras were there. The police was properly equipped, and effectiveness was it. There's something can happen if the politicians make the resolve to arm, or to equip the police, especially with modern state-of-the-art equipment. You will see the change. You have very courageous policemen, well-educated. All they need is the equipment, get properly trained, take care of their welfare, which the trust fund, the right chair, the board of trustees will do. Just give us time to get out of some of the problems that had to do with its establishment, particularly of the board of trustees, which His Excellency, Mr. President, is attending to as I speak to you. Once that is true, you see expenditures.
All right. So, Mr. Alba, let's get Chief Bode George back into the conversation. Please, just a moment.
The purchase of equipment, state-of-the-art equipment that will reduce crime in Nigeria.
All right. So, Chief Bode George, you touched on a very key issue, which is the political arm of the leadership arm of all of these things that we're talking about. So the big question is the political will of this issue of restructuring. We've been chewing it and talking about it for a long time. How will this happen? Do you see this happening under this present government? All right. Apologies there. We seem to have lost contact with Chief Bode George. But let me get a final word from the former IG. We have just about 30 seconds before the end of the program. In essence, there is a peculiar problem in the northwestern region, the banditry issue, insurgency in the northeastern region of the country, and leaders in the southwestern region or the southern part of the country are gearing up and making sure that they secure their territories. What do you think will be one major issue, just in 30 seconds, that if you were to advise the president now, what would that solution be for you?
Mr. President, you have a very good heart. You mean well for this country. And I know one of the problems is that some of the people that are supposed to execute your policies, just like you said recently, they abuse the trust. Identify truthful people who can get it done without selfishness. And once you do that, just like now, you have a board of trustees in the Nigeria Police Trust Fund that will equip the police. Once the funds are they flow properly and appropriately, we will ensure that the police is equipped. Nowhere in the world, abundance is police. But we have gotten to a situation in Nigeria where the police is abundant for a very long time in terms of getting good budget that will enable it buy the required equipment and ensure the welfare of its personnel and the training of the personnel to carry out the responsibilities that they are assigned to.
Mr. Suleiman Alba.
And you get good security.
Mr. Suleiman Alba, it's good to see you again after so many years since you left office as the Inspector General of Police. And I must sincerely thank you for coming out tonight to speak to us on this very important issue. Thank you so much indeed for coming. And I must also
It's my
thank
pleasure.
Chief Olabode George, member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, as well as the Governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time tonight. That's how we leave it, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. Bye-bye.